Greetings everyone. We're having some technical difficulties apparently. We don't have Mad Metal Man yet. I'm going to give him another 4 minutes to hopefully turn up, and then I'm afraid he's just going to have to miss the big reveal. And plus we get to see what his reaction is blind to the attire at present. Thank you all for joining in chat. Please bear with me. I will have that intro started in just a moment. I'm glad you're all here. Just in case some of you haven't seen the new intro, I'm very proud of it. It's entirely homemade. Well, homemade. Not. We get the idea. Difficult technicalities? Possibly. I don't know what the audio level is there. I think it's okay at present. But we don't know the state of Mad Metal Man's audio quite yet. He'll either be very loud, very soft, or... well, hopefully we'll hear him at least a little. I mean, if he doesn't get his audio working at all, then hopefully he'll still be on cam. I'm pretty sure it'll be just as hilarious if he has to sign his way through the entire live stream. I would kind of like to see that, actually. It would probably be rather memorable. But that should not be the case. Yes. This is heavily scheduled. There will be no replacing Mad Metal Man, just for the record. He's gone through great lengths to be at least on cam this evening, and I really want to give him every opportunity. He has the link to the, well, call, as it were, and we'll be starting as soon as possible. In the meantime, I, of course, will happily stay here, watch the chat, and, well, answer any questions you may have. Hey, how about that sports team? You know, that won the game. Wasn't that great? Go that team! Man, it's a shame that one team lost, though. Those guys really let us down. Hey, you're not seeing any issues quite yet. You're just seeing the, sort of, well, beginning of the intro / new logo. But, yeah, never mind. This hair! How does anyone get by with this? Seriously, I have no idea how she survives. Or any of them do, for that matter. I like my short hair. Low maintenance is great. I'm due for one, actually. I should look into that. Oh, stop. Stop, you say? Well... I was going to say I get that all the time, but I don't, and... if I did, that would have some rather troubling implications. Am I? You, a what? Aaliyah Koss? What is Aaliyah Koss? Jinx? Look, I'm just premiering my Halloween costume. Oh, cosplay. Right. Well, not quite, I would say. Although it did dawn on me that this could be confused for certain characters in streams I've done, maybe. Well, we'll see. Oh dear. It's time. Well, okay then. I suppose there's nothing for it. Hopefully Mad Metal Man will join us soon. In the meantime, it's simply time. Hi! If you're wondering what's going on, well, I think we can get to that in a second. First, I suppose I should bring the chat panel alive. Right. No one needs to know that. Who's naked? Well, in any case, to make a short story, Tranime girl, in order to get ahead of the usual, to get ahead. I shouldn't do that with gloves on. I know where these have been. Oh well, shouldn't be anything terribly poisonous. To make a long story short, to get ahead of the usual, your Halloween costume is racist, misogynist, sexist, what have you. Tranime Girl offered themselves a template for a Halloween costume, and I sort of took it as a challenge, of course. So here we are with my Tranime Girl costume, which, in hindsight, I do realize could sort of pass for a Monica outfit, but that really wasn't the plan. Monica's nice and all, and certainly I prefer to be on the better end of a, well, an anime AI apocalypse, but this isn't supposed to be Monica, this is supposed to be Tranime Girl. It would be very obvious if there was color here. You have Connie Silica hair. I wouldn't know. This is very new to me, and gets everywhere. Jinx, how do you put up with this? Do you keep your hair short? Tastes. Actually, fortunately, it doesn't seem to have a taste, but I don't care for it. This isn't right. Someone wants a sugar daddy. Let's see. Hold on. Sir Wolfie is naked. No one did need to know that. Nice boobs. Oh well, thank you. There's something I sort of slapped together in a short notice. Magog has had better, but yeah, I'm pleased with it. Let's see, Connie Selga here. I want a sugar daddy. Deathwing is apparently amused. No, long down your butt, but the rage cuts up out his shoulders. Yes, Jinx, okay then, how do you keep it out of your mouth? Because if this is any indication, I'm surprised more women aren't coughing up hairballs. It's just... Well, I have to say, this, ponytail. Well, that really wasn't part of Tranime Girl's costume. But in hindsight, they do use a sort of anime-ish avatar, which I suppose changes things a bit. Ponytail bun. Well, as you can see, this was Tranime Girl's costume guide, and I had to sort of do a hybrid here because I'm afraid I just don't have a red shirt. Arguably, I don't have a shirt of any other color than white, black, or some shade of gray. But, you know, I think the few staff that volunteered really came together. Firm, not necessarily very attractive, though. How are you all this fine evening? Jinx, are you well? How about you, Nightwolf? Sir Wolfie! Oh, Sir Wolfie is, by the way, my most recent patron, along with Argon. I'd like to give my thanks out to them. Again, I've had your pets sent off, the sort of... the credits, I haven't edited the credits yet. Damn it! Okay, the edits will be credited you and Argon in the near future. Your pets are en route. In fact, they'll be the last thing the team produces from that department. We're not really sure what shape they're in yet. We'll try to fit that into the Halloween special canned content video. I'm going to be interviewing a stranger character than Mad Metal Man, hypothetically. You might be able to see them over there still. I haven't laughed this much in a while. Great. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. All of you, in fact. And I'm glad if everyone's entertained. Because I'm probably going to hear about this for years to come yet. But I swore that I would go as Tranime Girl this year. And I have. I am a man of my word. Well, I would say I am, but by some standards, I'm definitely at least a third gender at this particular point, if I insist upon it, because again, there's no difference between someone insisting upon it and it, well, an authentic case. You might have a better time if you tuck the hair behind your ears. think I'm starting to sag. Let's see, you got less facial hair. Do I? You know, I'm going to be honest, if that is true, I'm primarily going to be annoyed. I mean, as it is, I have to put up with the fact that, strictly speaking, a lot of YouTubers of assorted quality all have better beards than I do, which I'm a bit cross about. So if they have a better beard too, that's really just going to be salt. I don't think so. I don't really think that's the case at all. Let's see. The sagging, yes. Cheaper than a plastic surgeon. And who doesn't, at least, like tacos? Anyway. Sorry, sagging materials, yes, age, blah. Sorry, what? Alucard from Helsing. That's right! He wore a fancy bow tie too, didn't he? Okay, well, I'm glad I worked in the boobs then, because if I hadn't, then I'd been hard-pressed not to have been just half-assing it by pretending to be Alucard instead. Probably would have needed the hat, though, in that case. I have a hat, but just not appropriate for... What is his name? The Red... something or other. Oh well. I never really watched the original Helsing, but I do love the abridged series. I really need to rewatch that. It's a Halloween tradition. Let's see. Do any of you have news? We're going to be covering a few articles here, especially if Bad Middleman isn't showing up. Which I'll admit, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed if that happens. I'll understand, you know, things happen. Oh, that's right! And also why I couldn't say it on the stream, or I could really, but I have to self-censor, and that actually cringes more than if I just pretend not to know in the first place. Ugh. Let's see, any news from the Twitter sphere? Oh, right, I've been catching a lot of hell lately because apparently I suggested that if they have the dog, say you decide to get just horribly smashed, which is fine, if you're a grown adult, it's your business, who cares, I enjoy it myself on occasion. But if you find you wake up with a terrible hangover and the only thing that really cures it is, quote-unquote, the hair of the dog that bit you, you should be aware that that will indicate that you are prone to alcoholism. It doesn't necessarily mean you are an alcoholic. It means you probably have a weakness, shall we say, a negative 2 to alcohol. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to stop it entirely, but you might want to consider it. Just saying, not that anyone should be a teetotaler unless they want to. I don't really care. That's all I was saying. Anyhow, surprising amount of grief over this statement. Apparently it's me being a walking PSA. I'm sorry, that's probably true. Not all the time, but in this time at least. It seems to have got me unmuted by Sophane though, so... Well, it was a good PSA for the rest of them at least. Let's see, where were we? I'm not going to bother replying into that until I don't have obligations elsewhere. Chat seems to have stopped. Are you no longer interested in me? Oh, is it bad that I got drunk off cop syrup at 3 p.m. or at age 3? Because this would change things dramatically. At age 3, well, yes, that would be bad. Yeah, age 3, okay. That would be bad, however, not bad you're a bad person morally, but bad as in that's probably something your parents wish they'd caught in time. For a lot of reasons, namely the fact that if you get into alcohol when you're young, it actually increases your susceptibility to alcohol when you're older. Not in a cool, fun way. No, it makes you more likely to have hangovers. In fact, the longer you wait... Oh, this is me being PSA again. Okay, I'll finish the thought. The longer you wait to start drinking, the more resilient you will be when it comes to drinking. In fact, if you wait long enough, there's a very good chance that you might find yourself close to immune to hangovers. Something to keep in mind. But most of the cases of hangovers, it's a matter of sort of dehydration, so long as you drink lots of water and try not to go to sleep while hammered, you'll probably be fine. You know, Mad Metal Man was probably going to get all dressed up for this. So I felt I might as well. I don't drink because I get bad hangovers. Yes, and if you drink when you were younger, that might have something to do with it. If not, though, then it could just be poor luck of the draw, because nothing is certain in, well, anything, but most especially genetics. All probabilities, really. A messy affair. I've seen the Mad Metal Man's nipples. You know, gaming and yelling, I can't help but notice that you've also vowed to show your nipples on this stream, despite the notable handicap of not being on camera here. And now you're mentioning having seen the Mad Metal Man's nipples. I'm suspecting you might have a bit of a nipple fascination. See, Nightwolf is here, just trying to get laundry finished. Yes, understood. I appreciate you being here at all, Nightwolf. I'm not a demanding YouTuber. Oh!
Hi!
Hi, Mad Metal Man. Glad to have you here. I'm just gonna do a quick check.
It took me a moment.
Oh, not at all. No, this is fantastic. Everyone, Mad Metal Man has joined the stream, and I'm just going to check the audio levels before getting a look at them. Let's see. Could you say something, please?
Something, please? Yeah.
Okay, it looks like the audio levels are pretty good. I'm just gonna... Your fault! Welcome to the stream, Mad Metal Man.
Greetings, Arketer. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm just gonna... take a seat here. I'm great. Almost catching up to certain backlogs of things. How have you been? It's been too long since we've been on stream together, and I'm pretty certain this is the first time we've both been on camera on a stream.
Yeah. No, this has got to be the third time I think I've been on camera in a stream, but it doesn't happen often. I might break things with how pretty I am.
Indeed. I think you've already made an impression.
Can you make his pic larger? Probably not.
Yes. I could perhaps transfer you to the main screen, but then we'd have to be reading the articles off the smaller screen. That's going to be even trickier. Is this acceptable to you? I've gone for the sort of largest guest stream screen possible, I think. I can increase in the future. Excellent, excellent.
This works.
Great. So,
I can move at the camera, so it works.
Excellent, excellent. What is your body percentage of metal, or is it strictly just metal in the metal band rock variety?
Do
you have...
Percentage-wise, let's see, maybe 10% metal?
Okay, excellent. So you're going for a measure of literalness. That's fantastic.
Yes.
I appreciate that. The director may have wet his pants... No. That's an absurd suggestion. I most certainly have not...
Dare I ask?
No. Pure slander. Pure slander. Okay, well, I suppose we'll handle right now the sort of pseudo-interview segment. I'm going to ask a few questions. Nothing you aren't going to be prepared for. Things like, how many people have you killed? Have you ever burned down an orphanage before? What is your most blackmailable secret? Or alternatively, what got you onto YouTube?
Ah, that one's probably the easiest to answer. Boredom. Being trapped here in this plane, I find so little to actually do that boredom is what led me to YouTube. Boredom is what led me to Twitter. And after being around as long as I have, you need some sort of entertainment.
Now, just to be clear and to clarify a few things, I've encountered a few creatures and entities and people and various sorts on YouTube thus far who are in other planes of existence. There's Ms. Midnight, for example. Excellent example right there. Are you familiar with Thorn Midnight, and are you on that plane, or are we on another one again?
Oh, I'm very familiar with Thorn. However, no, I'm a... my story is a bit, is it a tale? Is it a story? What is it? It's a bit tragic. I'm a Cartharian void demon. I came into the plane of your existence in 1905. Since then, I have gone around, I have caused plenty of calamity, plenty of chaos, and now I am, well, kind of trapped here. So
it's been going around. In fact, not long ago, Sir Wolfie himself sort of blackmailed me into sort of helping him escape. It didn't really go to plan, but it was a novel experiment that personally paid off.
Experiments, experiments into that realm will usually pay off, but
yes.
It's at what consequence?
On that note, I really must stress in advance that if you are looking to escape your given plane of existence, that's not something we really do at Arketer Labs, so we just, with respect, we need to push that off the table for now. We'll see.
Oh, I understand.
Yes, that's great, because Sir Wolfie was really kind of pushy, the whole being trapped in the inner thing, pushing his way into the console. I really don't need that to happen again. It makes security nervous.
It's more of a, I get to travel between two realms. Between hell, where I work, where I have my fun, and then your earth realm, where I get to hunt, and then I get to sit around and do nothing.
So you do a lot of commuting, in short?
About 30 minutes worth. However,
that's pretty good. I know some poor bastards who have to spend an entire hour back and forth to work. Oh, 30 minutes to hell and back is, really not bad at all.
Oh, if you learn to slice through the voids, much better. Much quicker, much easier.
Well,
leads to people's bedrooms, too. So, there's that.
Oh. Well, if you don't have any worthwhile intentions, that especially pays off. Okay, we had a question from the chat. Gaming and Yelling, who... I assume you're familiar with Gaming and Yelling?
Hi, Gaming.
Yes.
You're beautiful and your nipples are magical.
I'm sure they'll be deeply pleased to hear that, since nipples has been a recurring topic over the entire duration of this. In fact, they were very proud of having seen yours at some point.
They're a little shy at the moment, so not today.
No, it's fine. Well, strictly speaking, that shouldn't cause any sort of strike whatsoever, but what that says about our society is something else entirely.
No lie.
Okay, also, Gaming and Yelling did have a particular question, namely, I'm supposed to ask you about Bone Bra.
The legend of the Bone Bra. My serpent made entirely of bone. I ride upon him into battle, mostly. But sometimes he's good for transportation back and forth. Go to the store.
So
little things.
You said serpent, pet, all bone, but you ride them to and fro. So it's like the basilisk from Harry Potter, only undead. The skeleton.
A little less gay, yeah.
A little bit less gay. Okay, well, that works. Certainly that beats a lot of the regular transportation I see, cars, electrics, hybrids, that's... Look, I appreciate electrics, but they could have done better by now. I know these vehicles even leave the ground. This is not what our ancestors were promised.
No.
We should have hover cars at least. But no, all they have these little hover boards, and the ones that are still called hoverboards, they don't even hover. They're on wheels. It's not the same.
Where are my hover cars? I've been promised this since the 50s.
Indeed. They've promised us all these things and utterly failed to deliver.
In the year 2000, we will get hover cars and all these wonderful little trinkets that we can throw about and teleport ourselves in.
Personal
and we'll be able
jetpacks.
to communicate via video.
Well, we can communicate via video. That was nice. They almost got that one, but it's still not really popular outside of things like this.
Yes. And unfortunately, my potato-ness.
You have my debit card.
Oh, pardon me for a moment.
Oh, sure. Things happen. Well, everyone, once again, that was Mad Metal Man, who will assuredly be rejoining us shortly. Fantastic character. And, well, as long as he doesn't kill out people in our world, I suppose it's technically ethical to still be giving him a platform. Besides, this whole deplatforming thing is just rubbish. If I deplatformed him just because he murdered a bunch of people, it wouldn't stop him from either murdering or eating anyone at all. Negative effect whatsoever. Yeah, see, he will kill more. It doesn't really matter in any case. And man, deplatforming is all the rage, and you've heard about what happened to Gab, I suppose. The third big hit. They're using that latest shooting as an excuse to shut it down. Even though Twitter has more anti-Semitic content, you just have to follow the right circles. It's all compartmentalized and filters of follows and unfollows and blocks. Let's see. Oh, yes, I believe Angry From was making a request that I'm probably not going to request. Nico Ni. You know, I watch anime on occasion, and I might even have seen what Angry Froman is referring to. But I'm not remembering it right now.
Someone returned.
One of you greater weebs can remind me of that later. Welcome back, Mad Metal Man.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries whatsoever. I was going to load up an SCP file, but quite frankly, I think we're both more SCP files than the SCP file we might actually pull up at the moment. So instead I have an array of news articles, which we'll be getting into a little bit later, ending on a lovely song, which I need to send you a link for, because I'm pretty sure you can't hear it through the call. Before we start getting into that, let me ask again, you said your career started in the early 1900s, or at least that's when you entered our realm, exactly?
Yes.
So, how long have you been on YouTube exactly?
A year? A little over a year?
Oh.
About that, yeah.
Well, actually, it turns out we're start bros in that case, which makes sense, because one of the reasons I was so eager to have you on is because you are one of the first few people I ended up streaming with, along with Commander AMB, if I recall correctly.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I remember that stream. I remember me looking up a lot of technical points on the old Nintendos.
Yes, and the scam that modern Nintendo's pulling with their retro consoles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good deal for them, I suppose.
Good old Nintendo.
Yes. I do wonder, though, eventually Japan is going to hit the same problem with SJWs that most of the Western countries are dealing with now. A lot of people are expecting the Japanese to just laugh at the Gaijin or Guaylo, and no one cares. That was Chinese, sorry. I'm being horribly insensitive to races right now. But I'm concerned. I think that a lot of them might actually buy into that sort of moral posturing thing.
There seems to be a lot of them that do. And seems to be a lot more moral posturing these days.
In general, yes. It's history repeating itself, really. We've had this before, 1950s, up until the sexual revolution and so on. A lot of people just making a big deal about how virtuous they are, only now it's not because, you know, they have God smiling on them. It's just because everything is so terribly problematic.
Well, and when you live the better part of a century, you watch that most people don't learn from their mistakes. They continue to cause them over and over again. It just takes a couple of generations. Good example, look at the 80s. In the 80s, everyone had, spandex and big hair, and that went away for a while. And now all of a sudden, we're starting to see a resurgence of some spandex, at least in my area. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I'm not sure either, but I still stand firmly against bell bottoms.
Oh, very much so. You can trip real easy with them.
Everything about them has always struck me as just unavoidably wrong from the very first time I ever saw a pair.
They're not very aerodynamic either.
No, indeed not. We have another question from the chat, again from Gaming and Yelling. Apparently I'm supposed to ask about your finishing move, Chainsaw Laugh.
Okay, yeah, he wanted me to laugh, so...
I wish I got more requests for laughter. I could always stand to laugh a bit more myself. I try to make everyone else laugh, but who's trying to make me laugh?
Some people laugh at me, then they see me, and then they run away. I don't understand. I'm just a jester.
Yes, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Right. Sorry I got carried away for a moment there. I've lost my place in thought. Oh, well, when they say finishing move,
Losing your place.
Chainsaw Laugh. I remember when we first started, as it happens, there was some group putting together a Mugen fighting game where they were going to have all the YouTubers be characters in the fighting. Did you ever get in on that?
Let's see. I know Little J Moxley wound up doing a wrestling avatar for me. A bald, pale brute that apparently stands above everyone else. But that was about as far as I made it.
Pity. Because I thought a fighting game featuring a bunch of YouTubers was a great idea. I was, of course, just new onto the scene, so I wasn't quite able to get in. I started at the same time as Magog, but he's just that much more talented and devoted. So I don't begrudge him his success in getting into it, but I never know if the game got released.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it did.
Pity. I was hoping Tranime Girl would pop in here so she could see my work. Then again, that might be for the best that she didn't. You're familiar with Tranime Girl, maybe?
I think I've talked to her once.
Ah, yes. I've only had interactions with them via Twitter, but it's quite memorable. It's so strange to see a person with actual gender dysphoria who has caught on to the fact that maybe just encouraging everyone to spontaneously declare that they're a super special 3-binary gender snowflake puffkin might detract from the seriousness with which they might handle, well, verifiable cases.
Well, yeah, that's part of the reason why I've started referring to myself as an uber-gendered murder sexual. Because, yeah.
Well, why not? At least then you're not being painted as a horrible monster.
No.
Yeah,
just
you sidestep the whole thing.
It's fine.
Yeah, well, you're automatically minority, very oppressed. I feel for you. My empathy is so extraordinary that I sympathize with the murder sexual.
Oh, well.
Look up to me, and I will show you the way.
Well, now you're siding with me, which automatically makes you, like, Nazi or some dumb shit like that.
No, that only counts if you're not oppressed. We've already established you're at least a third, possibly 45th gender, which I am too occasionally, by the way. I went for, what was it? Squirgle? I don't know. Who can keep these imaginary genders straight? But it's a really great way to just sort of sidestep that. You're a man, ergo you must be responsible for all misogyny in the world.
I am. I'll firmly admit it.
Hey.
I am the one that caused it all. You can blame it all on me.
Strictly speaking, if you can claim credit for it all, you might as well. It might be horrible, but it's a form of greatness. I mean, that's a lot of work to achieve in anyone's lifetime.
I mean, I have been here for a better part of a century. I've had the time to do it. And watch, somebody will actually take me up on the offer.
Oh, Dork Oracle is in the chat as well. Mad Metal Man is very hot, they say. Not the only one. I believe you've had a few propositions since we started.
I will require at least 3 pounds of human meat.
Nice. Well, between the two of us, this means, by the way, that you're the more sexually accessible. If Queen of the South was in here, she might actually ditch me for you instead.
So let me see if I get this right. There's a good chance you will die sleeping with me, but I'm somehow the more accessible.
Yes, for them, yes. I don't actually intend to sleep with you at all, so I'm equally inaccessible to you sexually as they are to me and vice versa. But they might have a better shot with you than they would with me. Although I do appreciate all flattery because I'm incredibly vain.
Oh, well. You have a wonderful mustache and you have wonderful facial hair, my sir.
Oh, thank you, Mad Metal Man. You know, I don't get that many compliments on my facial hair. I work at it, I do. I can't grow a massive, luxurious beard like Beardberry or Magog or the Quartering. This is the best I can do. But I try.
Same here. And you do it well.
Thank you.
It works for you. I don't think it would work very well on people like me. But
I don't
for
know.
you, sir, it works very well.
You could probably carry it off. At least the goatee, it's practically tradition. Demonic individuals, goatees. Maybe a long mustache, but at least the goatee. Because as you just gestured, you have that sort of classical pondering how to damn your soul best
This is
move
true.
you can do. No obligation, though.
I used to have a goatee. It was about that long at one point. Just didn't seem to suit my face very well. Hard to get the blood out, too. Oh, chunks of people in it. Ugh.
Well, I do believe that practicality is more important than style. It's good to have a sense of style, but you do have to bow to necessity.
This is true.
Right, quite. Let's see. I'm sorry, I didn't actually plan this out all that well. I was inspired. We got the thumbnail that was on before the stream started.
It's quite all right. I actually I don't walk into these things with any sort of preparation. So.
Well, then we're on the same level then. I did actually want to sort of put on the old VR set and work on your avatar in 3D as I have in the past, but quite frankly, if I did that with the wig, I'm just going to melt on stage, possibly catch fire. So that will have to wait for another time. Have you seen my work before? It's quite possible I could give you your most disturbing avatar yet.
I have. I do not believe I've seen any of your work yet.
Well, let's see. Am I that hot? Angry Footman asks. At present,
well, yes, of course he is.
Objectively, yes. Figuratively, that's very debatable. You know, I'll send you some examples later on. Let's see. Should we? Yes, we're a good 30 minutes into this now. I suppose we should move on. Before I do, though, does the chat have any specific questions for Mad Metal Man? Furry in Finley has informed me that I am not as hot as you, which I can quite believe. It's very red there, and I assume even if you're not necessarily at work, it's probably a bit toastier than usual.
A little bit.
Yes.
Just a hair. However, I could possibly change that. Maybe.
Well, there's no obligation to. Apparently, Very appropriate to the present Halloween theme. Also, Flurry and Finley is also blowing you kisses. Well, presumably. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They want you to blow them a kiss.
Of course.
Well, I suppose they at least haven't asked you to do an anime dance yet, which I still don't know what dance that is from, and I suppose you'll just have to post that to General if you really want me to see what you have in mind. Why not both? Yes, well, presumably Fairy and Finley is already blowing kisses to Bad Metal Man. Why, as far as I know, they might have already just mostly obscured their monitor with just lipstick smears across the screen. Maybe have written out "My life for Mad Metal Man" in the residue.
Oh, if only.
That's... I, of course, have no way of knowing that's what they've done.
Well, then
But
I need more victims. So
who could prove me wrong? Anyway. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Mad Metal Man, did you know that PepsiCo once had the 6th largest military in the world?
I was unaware of this.
Yes. This came from Business Insider, who wanted to tell us all the tale about when PepsiCo had the 6th largest army in the world. Almost everyone in the world has a favorite soda they enjoy whenever they get the opportunity, but is your favorite tasty drink worth giving up a military arsenal big enough to stock a whole country? Well, at one point, the Russians thought so. That's right, the Russians, behind everything, since, well, ever, apparently. In 1959, then-President Dwight Eisenhower wanted to bring out America culture to citizens of the Soviet Union and show them the benefits of capitalism. To showcase their ideologies, the American government arranged the American National Exhibition in Moscow and then sent then-Vice President Richard Nixon to attend the opening. But things were about to take a turn for the worse. Nixon and Soviet leader Khrushchev got into an argument over the topic of capitalism versus communism. Their conversation got so heated, the Vice President of Pepsi intervened and offered the Soviet leader a cup of his delicious sugary beverage. And he drank it.
It's the Kendall Jenner thing all over again.
Yes. Years later, the people of the Soviet Union wanted to strike a deal that would bring Pepsi products to their country permanently. However, there was an issue of how they would pay for their newest beverage, as their money wasn't accepted throughout the world. For some reason. So the clever country decided to buy Pepsi using an universal currency, vodka. In the late 90s...
Crystal Pepsi was born.
See, if that were true, I imagine it would have sold a lot better. I would have bought it.
Probably.
In the late 1980s, Russia's initial agreement to serve Pepsi in the country was about to expire, but this time their vodka wasn't going to be enough to cover the cost. So the Russians did what any country would do in desperate times. They traded Pepsi a fleet of subs and boats for a whole lot of soda. The new agreement included 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. The combined fleet was traded for $3 billion worth of Pepsi. $3 billion. The historical exchange caused Pepsi to become the 6th most powerful military in the world for a moment before they sold the fleet to a Swedish company for scrap recycling. Well, as far as anyone knows.
Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh. And I am definitely a fan of vodka as well, Nightwolf, although, well, not necessarily Russian vodka. There's a wide variety out there these days. Mad Metal Man, aside of the blood of the innocents, what are your preferred beverages?
Well, outside of the meaty bits that I pull off people, I would have to say, yeah, vodka, water. Water's good. I like water. I'm very, I really don't have a wide variety to my palate, at least when it comes to drinks. Vodka's a good one, so I've stuck with it. Hammer and Sickle, by the way, very good vodka. Very kami vodka.
You know, when I'm in the mood to try a good proper kami vodka, I will make a point of looking that up on your recommendation. For my part, I've always been pleased with the work of the Finns myself. They seem to be a rather plucky sort, and I think their vodka represents that.
There is a question for me
And
further up in the chat.
they're practically Russians. They're right on the border. They had to stave off a few invasions. Close enough.
Yeah.
There was another question for you earlier in the chat. Did I miss something? I'm terribly sorry. Please, if you've caught a question that I missed, by all means.
Oh, was it? Oh man, I do not have the hangouts pulled up, or the chat. Pulled
Oh,
up. I'm
right.
actually looking
I
at
have a
your
question,
screen.
Madam, for the chat from Dork City, Dork Workle of Gulf City. Hey, Arketer. Oh, that's right. The original tag for Arketer wasn't for this account. Well, anyhow. But Queen is just Arketer. No, that's not right either. Metalman. Here we go. At Metalman from Dork Gulf City Oracle. What are your thoughts on the latest Judas Priest album, given the guitarist can't do a lot anymore?
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot of it, but what I have heard, it sounds pretty classical Priest. However, there is a slight lack of energy. Yeah, you can tell because I believe it's Tipton that has pretty much bowed out of the band, which I can't blame him. He's what, almost 70? The guy wasn't young when they started, and yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's far from something like oh god, I can't even think of anything. It's not as bad as something like Black Sabbath coming together years later with that didn't sound right to me. And I don't know, I was kind of worried the Priest would fall into the same category, and they didn't. They seem to have picked up right where they left off. So just not quite as energetic, but what can you do? You get to a certain age, you don't move as well.
Yes, the Grim Reaper will come for us all. Well, I don't know what the case is in your case. I'm quite aware that at least us mere mortals are doomed to eventually die. Everyone here, with the possible exception of you, as far as I'm aware, is going to die. Well, let's be safe. Even if you're biologically mortal, everyone's going to croak. Probably even you. Even if it's just, I don't know, you roll out of morning one bed and someone's put a vat of holy water there, or
That would do it.
Any number of things can go wrong, and they will if you live long enough. I believe, what was it? Zero Hedge? The longer you live, the more certain your doom will be regardless. Something's going to go horribly wrong. Say like, oh, I don't know, the sun exploding.
Ah, that would be beautiful.
Yes, and of course, in the short term, all sorts of cancer. Just all the cancers. The cells are going to misfire. You're all toast. I'm toast. We're all toast. Embrace it. Happy Halloween!
I was going to say, it can't be any worse than the cancer we've already experienced.
Oh, well, I think in many ways, cancer of the tissue might be better for humanity as a whole than cancer of thought. But you have to allow for it. You have to work around it.
Yeah.
And allow things that have lived too long to just die. And wouldn't you be blind before you could watch the sun explode? Well, yes, probably. Again, the average living person is a massive, complex biological machine which is constantly somehow avoiding going spectacularly wrong somehow. There's a very good chance that, before the sun dies of old age, and assuming you haven't, you're probably not going to be in the best condition anyway.
Well, and I was going to say, I think we'd be gone about the time that it went supernova. Long before it explodes.
Well, we hope.
Or implodes, whatever.
This is one of the many reasons why I'm a firm believer in getting off of this rock as soon as possible. This is why I support and continue to support Trump's Space Force. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but it's a step in the right direction.
In my opinion, it is. It also makes me wonder, what does he know that we don't?
I do wonder, because if I'm not mistaken, Pidosta was saying that if Hillary won, he was going to reveal the existence of aliens. I don't believe him for a second, but hey, if that was the case, then combine that with the sudden, well, Space Force, and I don't know. I, of course, couldn't confirm nor deny. We don't have an emissary facility or anything like that.
We need a Space Force.
Yes, absolutely.
What is coming our way? That is the curious question. We have something to actually block ourselves now. What exactly are we defending ourselves from?
I would say, if we're being really smart, probably the Chinese. But, you know, again, whatever gets us off the rocks somewhere else. Everyone should be scared. They're pretty damn strong at this point. And apparently Australia is just sort of dealing with the concept that they're going to be annexed at some point. Non-violently at first, anyway. Strange. China. They've got a sort of unannounced vassal state thing going with China at this point. We had a commentary from Dork, Gulf City Oracle, Mad Metal Man. I understand what it's like to be dealing with these mere mortals. Given that I'm a half demon, half fairy, I can tell you they die easily. My god will tell you how many I accidentally killed. Not how many she has accidentally killed, of course, but how many she is probably going to accidentally kill.
It can happen on a daily basis if you're not careful. So just don't get caught.
Nah. Well, that's a good rule for everyone. Whatever you're doing, if it's illegal, try not to get caught. It's good advice, but depending on what you're doing, I probably shouldn't be offering it. Oh well. Moving on. Let's see. We have a good... Oh, right. There we are. Sorry. This console isn't necessarily the best thing. Apparently, a Florida man sustained a lacerated penis from a fleshlight.
Florida man strikes again.
Florida man! Although, we have to say that... Ooh. Maybe I shouldn't have gone quite that loud. Anyhow, I'm personally glad to see Florida Man back to simply injuring himself, as opposed to making an ass on the national stage, because as you know, the man who sent several suspicious packages, as far as I know it's never been concerned to be bombs, but suspicious packages that looked like they might have been bombs to several people, was from Florida. It was Florida Man.
Ah, damn it, Florida Man.
Yes. Of the unconquered Seminole tribe of Native Americans. Florida Man.
The unconquered ones.
That's right. He's very proud of that. His entire Twitter feed reads like a chatbot was just loaded with various scare words. But I'm glad that the Florida Man making the news is back to a smaller scale.
You know, I just realized something. Look at that headline and think about the holiday season. You know, years ago, you had to worry about people, quote-unquote, putting razor blades into your candy. Now, apparently, you have to worry about them putting it in your fleshlight. Humans are sick.
Yes, a lot of us are, ultimately. Oh, well, apparently Vash the Token Dargon was looking forward to looking in. Apparently they're not aware this live stream is ongoing. I should probably send a link to General. I keep forgetting these small bits of self-promotion. Say, how good are you at self-promotion?
Oh, I'm terrible at it. Hell, I don't even get online half the damn time when I should.
See, I've been doing pretty good at keeping up with this whole live streaming schedule thing, but my canned content production schedule has been, well, a touch lackluster. But I will have a canned content Halloween special out. As you can see, I have my guest there already. Bit of a jerk, really. I knew you're far more civil. Ghosts.
Wait, what the hell is a fleshlight? Wait, oh, okay, I got this one.
Oh, no, I was a bit distracted. No, this isn't the guest. Well, he's obscured by the... Never mind. Back to the article. Michael Dumfrey of St. Augustine, Florida, was involved in a freak accident involving a broken beer bottle and a flashlight. The accident happened at his
Why?
home in the wee hours of the morning on October 17th of 2018 and left Dumfrey with significant laceration on his penis. There was so much blood, I got blood all over Brittany, he says. Brittany is what he calls his fleshlight. I knew I had to get to the emergency room. Knew I had to get to the emergency room, so I wrapped a towel around my dong and hobbled out to the car. Unfortunately, Mr. Dumfrey, he made one critical mistake. I left Brittany on the bed, so I had to go back inside to get her. I had to wash the blood off her first because she was complaining about it, but I'd take her everywhere with me. Michael drove to the emergency with one hand on the wheel. Once there, Brittany waited in the car while Michael was admitted and treated for his injuries.
Oh.
I'm just going to stop there.
I don't think you need to say anything more. I'm pretty sure. How?
Yeah.
How, and how? That's all I got.
It's a very apt question, I feel. Let's see. Men always bring the penis where it doesn't belong. Well, strictly speaking, a fleshlight is one of the better places a man can stick his dong. Although, what a sad thing to name it and to go back for it.
Because it's complaining.
I want to call bullshit on this article, but I've seen so much from Florida Man in the past that I don't dare.
You can't really doubt it at this point.
Oh yes,
It's a
satire.
little too on the nose.
Satire and parody is just shy of dead. Even the things that are complete rubbish are sadly true somewhere.
It would be interesting to hear Metal Man's explanation of a fleshlight. Well, what one actually is or what I use. Two completely different things.
I don't think you've thought this through, Dorkorkle. There's a very good chance that when it comes to a pocket pussy, this may not be a gent into synthetics.
No, there's nothing synthetic about what I use.
Oh. From Angry Fremen, hashtag demonetized.
Exactly. We just won't go into it any further.
Yes, my odds of being on the right side of YouTube are pretty slim anyway, I suppose. But still, I try. I feel obligated to. Plus, I maintain a level of dignity here. I have to have some self-respect.
For the love of God, no. It's not what's going on here.
At best, God is indifferent, but there's a fairly good chance he doesn't approve in the hypothetical they exist.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't approve of anything.
Oh, maybe. Well, then... Well, I suppose it depends on how many layers deep you go into it. I think Peterson might have a point there with this sort of hypothetical... being right in all contexts would effectively be God if we're going into that. But it's still not something you would really pray to and expect anything to happen. I have no dignity, please continue. Well, that's fine for you, Nightwolf. You're not on camera. Vansel said, fairly sure if God exists, he wouldn't be too loving. In the concept of a hypothetical God existing, the one thing that would immediately clear first and foremost is that as an omnipotent, omniscient entity, we would have zero idea what the hell they were thinking or doing at any given time, because... Look, just try to put the entirety of the world in your own head.
Rather not.
Yeah,
I've seen far too much in my 116 years here.
Assuming you could, just the very knowledge would drive you batshit insane. Certainly would drive me insane. I see enough of it on Twitter and I'm clinging to strands.
I'm 16 and seen and heard plenty of shit, but I've never heard of this.
Oh dear. I'm not mad though. Not yet anyway. Okay.
I'm always mad.
Yes. Let's
So,
see.
there's always something to make you angry.
Well, sanity be quite relative. Oh! Well, we got about 4 minutes left, and just not really an article so much as a wonderful example of British journalism from one Mr. Alf Garnett. I don't know if you can see this, but it's just a clip from a British tabloid with the title, "I thought it was one of them bombs that Trump's been sending people." No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong accent. I thought it was one of them bombs what Trump's been sending people. No, that's terrible. Suffice to say, widow's terror as sex toy arrives by mistake because apparently fleshlights are the theme this evening.
It's okay. It's okay. Fleshlights are. It's like that. It's like if there was a PG version of sex cells. It's a fleshlight.
Yes. But that title is rather alarming because there seems like a lot of people who do believe that apparently Trump just sent a bunch of bombs to people at this point.
God damn it, people. Just calm the fuck down. The man's not nearly as bad as you think.
No.
Trust me, I can go back to work and pull up some souls that you people have been very happy to be long without.
Oh, yes.
They're itching to come back, by the way.
On the big list of villains, he's not really scratching the top 10. He doesn't even have a kill count worth mentioning. What a farce.
Yeah. When he starts hitting the thousands, come back to me.
Yeah, but at least 1,000.
At least.
But hyperventilating over...
It has to be... Well, I was going to say, it has to be by his hand, not by somebody else's.
Well, I would settle for him just giving the order to if we're going to get him on that list, but he hasn't even done that. Which, you know, I have to say, I was one of the people that thought he might not be that great. I'll come clean here. This might cost me some subscribers, but I actually was cheering for Bernie. I was. Mind you, I believe he got broken fairly early into it, but, well, it's really hard to argue with a poorest senator.
Bernie made a lot of basic mistakes. One of which being that he sided at all with the Democrats.
Yeah, he might have been better off running for the Republican primary in practice. Hey, at least their primaries weren't quite as rigged. That was self-evident because whatever else one might say about Trump, he was the most democratically selected candidate running.
Yep. Like, yeah, talk all the shit you want, but yeah, he played the game, and he played it well.
Mm-hmm. I'm still deeply bothered by the number of people who are supposedly on his side now who, well, have been rather bold about the fact that they feel the Republicans should have rigged their primary too, because, hey, wouldn't it be so much better if Jeb had won?
No, we need to stop with the dynasties. No more Clintons, no more Bushes. In fact, if you run for president, and if it should not be, your lineage should not be available for presidency within the next 80 years.
No, I really like that idea. That's a lot better than term limits in this point. We definitely do not need neo-nobility again. It's just so damnably ironic. Nobility, my ass. Well, there we go. If we weren't demonetized before, that probably did it right there, yes.
Okay. Kept it. We could have been talking all sorts of madness here, but that's the one thing. You can't do that.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, you know, if you want to know who rules you, you just have to find out who you can't criticize. And I think, by now, most Americans should know who that is.
Pretty sure I do.
Oh, boy. Personally prefer Cruz, but in a few years I might run and tell people everything I ironically believe.
I will murder America back to greatness. Metal Man 2020.
You know, you'd be running Democrat at that point, especially if it's Hillary Clinton again. I can't believe it. I can't believe anyone can even type that without just turning the rest of the article into gibberish as they stop being able to hit the keys from all the paroxysms of laughter driving them to a stroke. But it's happened about 3 times now.
I just can't believe people keep a straight face every time every time they make an announcement. Hillary's gonna run. Oh, we were so surprised, like she wasn't going to. Really, really, yeah. Nope, that woman wants power. That's
Yes,
all she wants.
If they can. See, at this point, I'm thinking I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was secretly just helping her lay the path to running again, because I can think of no surer way to ensure his second term. After all, who better to run against Trump than the one candidate objectively proven to have lost to Trump? And this is back when they all had us believing he was, I don't know, terrifying incompetent who would have us in nuclear winter by, a year ago.
That's why I voted for him. Where is this?
Yeah, it's the point.
I'm still waiting for annihilation.
If that had been one of his promises, he might have delivered by now. After all, he's delivered more than I think I've seen from a president in a long, long time.
I'll be quite honest, whether I like the policies or not, he's the only president I have seen in my entire lifetime that has actually lived up to a damn thing he said he was going to do.
I ironically believe that we need to spend $400 trillion on a flying fortress that will only fire gummy bears. Aside from the gummy bears, I'm with you, Angry Shrumman. Unironically.
It needs to be sour gummy worms, not the gummy bears. And
nation-scale non-lethal weaponry. Or at the very least, speakers blaring shares hits. We'll just send those to the really annoying nations to make them pay.
Oh, that hurt even me.
Share Flying Fortress, the Middle East say this will keep on playing until you become a republic.
Oh, they really dislike, what is it, Skinny Puppy? They think Industrial's the devil.
That too. Okay, well, we just need some Flying Fortress with speakers in the Middle East and have them play until they realize that Allah is dead.
He's not coming to help you now.
Oh dear, wow, that would be an unexpected start in a World War III.
That would be.
I don't think we're going to go that far.
It would also be nice.
Yes.
It would also be nice to see the advanced weaponry of tomorrow to include, gummy bears and food-related items.
Well, I suppose if...
Start shooting bananas.
You know, now that you've said that, Ingerford might have a point there. What a novel way to deliver humanitarian aid.
Mm-hmm.
And when the shells land, people just find supplies and delicious candy. How relieved they'll have to be. Just so much happier. Massive shell lands in front of your house. You're pissing your pants. Your life flashes before your eyes. Free candy.
I'm completely down with that.
Well, this is why I plan to do at my funeral, as it happens. I plan on, people have, serve the military, they have those gun salutes, they fire blanks. That's nice and all, but at my funeral, I'm going to have at least 5 people firing RPGs in random directions. The shells will be empty, maybe with a small note saying, remember, life isn't guaranteed. But that's how I want my funeral to go. And lots of alcohol. Lots of alcohol. There's going to be an open bar. Okay. That's actually a bad idea to reference, because that's just given a whole lot of people who hypothetically know me motivation to see me dead as soon as possible. Sometimes I don't think through the consequences nearly as well as I should.
I think you'll be fine for a while.
Fingers crossed, but you don't know the people I know. Okay, we have one more thing. True. We're a bit overscheduled already, but, well, yeah. I don't mind. This next video is in the description, along with links to both your YouTube channel and your Twitter. I would encourage everyone who is paying attention to make a point of subscribing to both. And as you're hypothetically... Yes, well, I would recommend it, but there's no obligation. You can still enjoy my content, even if you don't slavishly obey everything I suggest. It's all right.
But obeying is preferred.
I just don't need to know that you aren't obeying. I can pretend It's almost as good.
So what is this? The NPC song.
That's right. And I'm afraid that this won't necessarily transfer over the call, so we'll just have to listen to it together as rock out.
Fair enough.
Around so high the whole damn day. Now I'm a warrior, the social justice way. Orange man's a douche, the KKK is huge. CNN, they always tell the truth. They call me NPC.
Kick them today.
Call me NPC. NPC. Russian bots dehumanizing me.
This is fantastic.
I used to have a job, but I quit because I knew I'm just like anarchy. I'm better than you. Come feel the rush, jump on the bus, 'cause Twitter Jack agrees with us. They call me NPC, call me NPC.
I don't know what's more entertaining, the lyrics or your dancing.
Russian bots dehumanizing me. Orange man's a douche, the KKK is huge. BuzzFeed always
beautiful.
tells the truth. They call me NPC, call me NPC. NPC, Russian bots dehumanizing me.
Oh. Russian bots. Yes, all Russian bots.
Surprisingly, the creators that their subscription count is lower than mine, well, my canned content anyway, so certainly they definitely need the support. That was, again, Duophonics, the NPC song. And I'm very pleased to have shared that with all of you.
I was going to say, even though I couldn't hear it, it was still very entertaining reading all the lyrics. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this.
I highly recommend it. You know, and it's such an upbeat song, too. It's good to face these things, but not get depressed, to contemplate sad ends, but just have a good laugh and think, hey, it could be worse.
It could be. And
It could always be worse.
hang around me long enough, I'll make sure it is.
Don't, Mad, just don't. And apparently that song might have turned gaming and yelling straight. Not bad. I thought you were going to play the other NPC song. There's another one? Dork Oracle, you need to DM that to me at some point in the near future. Right, I think we're going to wrap things up. Once again, I want to stress, first off, thank you very much, Mad Metal Man. I think this has been one of my best streams yet, and you have been no small part of that.
Absolutely any time, and I do apologize for being a bit late.
Oh, it's all right. Things happen. At least you didn't tell me you would maybe be here or not for an entire week.
Yeah. I don't do that.
I appreciate that. Technical difficulties, of course. Well, I could hardly criticize anyone for that. They happen here all the time. Right. Do you have anything?
Nice to meet you, Mad Metal Man. Well, have I been met? I have been met. I have been met.
Assuredly. And those who haven't met you before, I'm glad I could help them do so now. Please, if you have anything you would like to shill or ask people to keep an eye out for, now's a good time to do it.
All right. Make suggestions about what movie I should review, because that's going to be kind of one of the things that I'm going to be doing soon. A lot of horror movies and exploitation movies.
Horror movies, exploitation movies. Okay, I was going to ask next if it was movies you thought that we thought were good, or movies we thought were terrible, but you've kind of narrowed it down. I'm pretty sure Jupiter Ascending doesn't count, but I'm pretty sure it would hurt you. It hurt me.
If I can find even the most base horror element in it, I will watch it.
The concept of the human race being nothing but chattel for a superior version of the human race that is spread across the galaxy and has created the Earth solely for the purpose of turning us into their own version of the elixir of youth.
I'd watch that.
Yes. The very concept that the protagonist in the film is going to do anything to interfere with that is just laughable. But you'll, if you watch it, I'm sorry. Right.
That was one of the Wachowski movies, right?
Oh, yes. Quite possibly.
Oh,
quite possibly the singular worst. Oh, boy. Right. I'm about to close it down. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, I will be live at the usual time, Wednesday, special Halloween streamish sort of thing. Maybe I'm not really expecting one to turn up because they should have all better things to do. Other than that, canned content Halloween video incoming. And thank you all for watching. Thanks again, Metal Man, and we will start the shutdown process now. Oh, apologies to Sir Wolfie and Argon. I don't have in the credits yet. I'm always forgetting something or other.
Bye-bye, all.
Until next time, ostensibly, progress continues.
Technology. Progress. Innovation. Arketer Labs.